Welcome to Empowered by Michaela Smith. Thank you very much for joining me, my friend. Today I would like to talk to you about disappointment at work. And I think we all have been there, right? Maybe there was that promotion or that position which you thought you were a perfect fit for, only to find out that you didn't get it. Or maybe company was going through a company restructuring and you were told that you no longer fit into the budget and they will have to let you go. Or maybe it was a little bit something smaller. Maybe you just needed a little bit of time to talk to your boss or to your colleague about something that you really cared for, but they didn't find time for you. However small or big our disappointments are, it is extremely important that we deal with our disappointment because it will not go away otherwise. So today, if you are going through any disappointing situation, this would be my recommendation on how to deal with it. As a first recommendation from me to you would be, do not deny that you are disappointed. Do not pretend that everything is okay if that is not how you feel. Today at our workplace, we very often try to be consistently strong and show that we have got everything under control. We don't want to be vulnerable, right? Because with disappointment, very often also a feeling of embarrassment or feeling ashamed comes because we were trying to achieve something and it did not happen. So we might feel like, oh, we failed, we are failure, and that we don't want to show that to the outside world. But that is not the way how to deal with your disappointment. Being disappointed is perfectly okay. We all go through it. So sit with your disappointment, really feel how it makes you feel. It's not going to be pretty, it's not going to be pleasant, but by the way how you feel it, you process that feeling so that you can eventually let it go. A great way how to deal with the disappointment is to either journal it down to your journal so that you can let it out, or for me personally, I prefer to talk about it with my coach or with somebody who is not too involved in the situation so that I can hear myself talking about it. Because very often when we hear ourselves speaking about our disappointment or any other emotion, we find out that things are actually not as dramatic as we think they are. So as a first recommendation is, do not deny your disappointment. It's okay to be disappointed. Process it, feel it, so that you can eventually let it go. Number 2 would be, watch your own thoughts, because they can become your worst enemy. Not people around you, not your colleagues, not your bosses, nobody else, but your own thoughts could really get you on the wrong path. And our ego absolutely loves this. Our ego loves to get us and sway us on the negative path, into the negativity. And often what happens, our narrative in our mind is, I'm feeling so sorry for myself, the whole world is against me, the whole world is collapsing. So be very careful, because if you are going through these negative thoughts, in the long run it could really hurt you. It could have a negative impact on your productivity at work, on how you show up at work, on your relationships with your colleagues, with your bosses, but especially it could have a very negative impact on your well-being. So be very careful, because as I said, your own thoughts can become your worst enemy. Moving on to the next point would be, what can I learn from this situation? Very often when we are disappointed and we find ourselves in a failing situation, we do not want to look at the positive sides of the situation. But trust me, with time, in the near future, or maybe in a few weeks, few months, you will find out exactly why the situation happened like it did happen. But in the meantime, try to be strong enough to step back, detach yourself from that situation and see, what is the learning here for me? If I was in the same situation again, would I do things exactly the same, or would I do things in a different way? Or maybe you will find out that there is time to do some changes in your life, or there is time to have some hard conversations with somebody at your work. So do not take your disappointment as a failure, but look at it as a learning that you will benefit from in the future. And finally, move on. 99% of time, the situations are really not as dramatic as we make them. Once you get through that initial processing, please just try to move on, learn from it, and move on as quickly as possible. Because dwelling on that disappointment, dwelling on that situation, as I said before, is not going to harm anybody but you. So just to summarize this very short session, if you are dealing with a disappointment, first of all, do not deny that you are disappointed. It's okay to be disappointed, but that is just the way how you deal with it that is important. Don't deny it, feel it, befriend it so that you can let it go. Watch your thoughts so that they do not become your worst enemy. Look at what you can learn from it. and then move on. So my friend, if there is anything that you're going through and you would love to speak to somebody about it, please do not hesitate. Shoot me an email and I will be happy to jump on the call with you and talk to you about your situation if you're going through anything right now. Thank you very much for joining me once again. If you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel yet, please do that. I'm sending these videos every Tuesday. Also, there is a regular Saturday blog which I send only to my subscribers. You can see the website on the screen right now. Go there, subscribe to the newsletter and be part of our Saturday community as well. Thanks very much. You have a great day in the office and I will speak to you next week. Bye.